This week on the Hooters Tour with Lee Moore and Kim Breel. Coming up this half hour, we'll see a veteran Hooters player win his first tournament this year. 4 rounds of championship golf for the $100,000 purse. We'll take a short drive through historic Charleston and meet Hooters professional Steve Pope. All coming up next.
Fellow Americans, recently it's been reported in the national media that I am preoccupied with Hooters. I wish to state for the record that I have not been sneaking out in the middle of the night and going to Hooters. Reports that I have been seen eating a big plate of nearly world-famous chicken wings are simply not true. It's just another attempt to discredit the policies of this administration. Thank you. Fellow Americans, I've taken this airtime today to clear up a few misconceptions that have been in the press lately regarding my wife's involvement with Hooters. At no time prior to or since my having been elected president has my wife invested in Hooters. My wife has made some investments from time to time, and she does have some stock holdings. She has some IBM and some General Motors and some mutual funds, but she does not have any Hooters. Thank you. Fellow Americans, I realize that not everyone is a powerful lobbyist or owns a huge poultry conglomerate, and many of you may be a little short on cash after the middle-class tax increase I sucker punched you with. But if you still want to contribute to my legal defense fund, Hooters Restaurants is donating 1 out of every 10 chicken wings they sell to go toward feeding my lawyers. So please, go to Hooters and buy as many chicken wings as you can afford. Thank you.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to historic Charleston, South Carolina, and to the Charleston National Golf Course. It's located just across those big bridges in the town of Mount Pleasant. Now, Kim, you might recall it was just a couple of years ago that one of the strongest storms ever to come out of the Atlantic, we're talking about Hurricane Hugo, it really wreaked havoc on this area.
In fact, Lee, from the Charleston National Golf Course, Hugo swept away more than 35,000 trees. And considering that, though, this golf course and surrounding areas remain beautiful and picturesque.
I'll put my second on that. Now, this week, 168 players are going to gain some measure of revenge from scores that they posted just a year ago when Paul Claxton had a score of 1 under par for 4 rounds, and it was different this time. Now, let's just see how things are going to start early in the week as we go out to the action on rounds 1 and 2.
Day 1 in perfect weather has been ordered up. Checking at hole number 18, a par 5. Kurt Worley is going to birdie 18, but that's not going to be enough to help him after scores of 76-71 to be around for the weekend. Jay Davis of Jacksonville, Illinois played number 17 perfectly. Here, he picks up his par en route to a 73, and his 2 rounds of 73-70 will leave him at 1 under. Dennis Zinkon continues to be a solid member of this tour. Zinkon of Haines City, Florida is going to birdie the final hole of the day on Thursday, and scores of 72-71 will put him just 7 shots in back of the lead with 36 holes to go. Jason Brown of Athens, Georgia is going to celebrate his 25th birthday when playing in the John Crosland CTX tournament, and his par putt at number 17 will be used to put him at 2 under after 2 days. Bill Price was tied for the lead after the first 18 holes with a 67. Here at number 10, Bill, who's from Roswell, Georgia, will be the only one in his threesome to make a 4 at the difficult 10th. Bob Matisse of Jacksonville, Florida, played steady early in the tournament. His 4 at the 10th hole is part of Friday's 72. That combined with the first day's 70 gives him plenty of cushion for making the cut. Andrew Morse of Needham, Mass. is going to make a par at the par 5 10th hole after knocking his 4th shot some 10 feet past the flag. A good save And Andrew continues to be one of the most consistent players on the Hooters Tour. He's been our points leader on 2 occasions this year, but has yet to win. Still, he's always a pre-tournament favorite to cash a winner's check. Now, let's check out some second-day birdies at the par 5 first hole. Ray France is going to get this one. The Mount Pleasant native is back. He's going to have a solid tournament this week. Scott Gardner makes 5 at the first hole, but fear not, the Clinton, Tennessee native is going to have his best tournament of the year, and on Friday he has a 3-under 141 on the books. Back at number 7, Vidalia, Georgia native Paul Claxton rolls in a 3, and the defending champion here uses this birdie to leave him at 7 under par for 2 days. And how about our old Indiana buddy over there, Craig Bowden? Bowden suffered a broken putter earlier in the day, and here, putting with a wedge, Bowden, the winner of the Indiana Open, makes a par 4 at the 7th hole. Charleston National just a bit easier on the men from the Hooters Tour.
So after 2 rounds of play, Eric Johnson is our leader by a shot with his 136 or 8 under total. There are 3 players tied for second place, and one of those, Paul Claxton, was our winner just a year ago. The Vidalia, Georgia native had rounds of 68-69 for his 137 total. The other 2 are Michael Foster of Vacaville, California, and Kelly Korleski of Clemmy, Iowa. Parked at 2 shots off the lead after 36 holes is our local favorite, Ray France of Mount Pleasant, South Carolina, and Dickie Thompson of Peachtree City, Georgia. Stephen Larrick of Blythewood, South Carolina, had a fine second round, 6 under 66. That puts him 3 shots behind the leader and tied at 139 with Rob McKelvey of Lawrenceville, Georgia, and Steve Flesh of Edgewood, Kentucky. Stick around. When we come back, we're going to tell you about our Monday qualifier that had 33 pros competing for 10 spots, a shootout that's going to give Stephen Larrick his second straight opportunity to win in that event.
We'll also give you the results from the Ladies Pro-Am and our big Wednesday gathering, and EJ is going to win the long drive contest.
And we will drop in on our junior clinic with a couple of special features coming your way next.
Hi, I'm Terry from Hooters of Columbia. We'll be right back with This Week on the Hooters Tour.
Who's getting happy? Who's having fun? Who's been to Hooters? Come on, everyone, it's at Hooters. Hooters. Hooters makes you happy. Hooters makes you happy. Hooters makes you happy. Hooters makes you happy. Good times, great food, fun music, what a hoot. Hooters. Hooters. Everybody's getting happy at Hooters.
Now swing your partner round and round on the best dang caller in this town. You know, there are only a few Bud Lights left. Okay! Head out the door, you gals and men. Don't stop till you hear from me again. Get on out of here. See ya. Say hello to your mama. Bye-bye.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
How we gonna get paid?
At Hooters, our girls earn their wings every day.
Hooters, it's not just a restaurant, it's an adventure.
Now, Kim, in our Big Monday qualifier, we had 10 players added to the field of 158, giving us our total of 168. Our medalist was Tim Straub, a guy who's played out here before. He had a fine 5 under par 67. That's good on this golf course. Also, we had an old member coming back to qualify, Jay Williamson out of St. Louis. He shot a 68. Then a member of last year's PGA Tour and a guy that used to play us a good while back by the name of Lenny Matisse. And so, in all, again, there were 10, and let's check out the names of the others.
The winning team in our Pro Lady event held on Tuesday was led by Hooters professional Jeff Gov, and his amateur partners were G. Evans, T. Mendenhall, and D. Brent. They had a score of 15 under par and actually won in a match of cards with 2 other teams.
Yep, that was a nice event and something Landy and Rankin should be congratulated for. Now, in our big regular Pro-Am on Wednesday, Hooters Pro Charlie Whittington, Kim, was the captain of that team. On it, he had Bob Jerome, he also had Tom Mondell, Art Zimmerman, and he also had Steve Simmons. The winning score, 31 under par. That's almost obscene. Now, again, we had a long drive contest out here, and that was won by Eric Johnson. But Eric also was low pro in that Pro-Am. He had a 68.
In the Continental Airlines shootout, Stephen Larrick won his second straight shootout. this time defeating local pro Tim Dunleavy with a birdie on the final hole. Dunleavy played in this year's U.S. Open and made the cut that shows the strength of his game. Larry picked up a check for $350 for first place.
And now, Kim, Charleston's one of the more picturesque cities that this tour visits. Now, it's been the city of countless movies. In fact, currently Lee Majors is in town. They're making a big show over here, as they say. And so we thought that maybe the people would like to see some more of the community. So we took the camera downtown and got some shots.
Charleston, South Carolina. Certainly one of the most beautiful historic cities in the United States. Right downtown between Church and Meeting Streets, you'll find specialty shops and boutiques. Within the open-air market section between Church Street and East Bay Street are stalls leased daily by local artisans and international importers. This area right here, some refer to as Rainbow Row, because of the multiple colors used on these old historic townhomes. There's old government buildings, cobblestone streets, and a beautiful view of boats anchored in the waterway. As you head north of Charleston, the most memorable landmark is the high-rise bridge. You'll enjoy a short or long visit to Charleston, South Carolina. Earlier this year in Atlanta, Steve Pope won for the first time on the Hooters Tour. Let's take a minute to get to know Steve Pope just a little bit better.
Steve Pope was born in Jackson, Mississippi, an all-American kid of sorts, playing many sports before dedicating his time to golf.
My father told me that, you know, I have to specialize in something. I can't be a jack of all trades, and, you know, if I'm gonna do something, I have to do it, you know, full time and with all of my interest. And that's when I gave every other sport up except for golf then. And really the only thing that's been on my mind since then is, you know, being on the PGA Tour and winning tournaments.
After high school, Steve attended Mississippi State. In 1990, he was named Mississippi's Player of the Year. The following year, he turned professional and joined the TC Jordan Tour.
Yeah, it's a really competitive tour. Every tournament out here, there's a lot of good players, and I feel like if you can win a tournament out here, or if you can be a dominant player out here, then you've really done something.
He's on his way, preparing for the ultimate in professional golf, the PGA Tour. His first and only win as a professional came in Atlanta.
I hit a little pitching wedge, and, you know, I just kind of hit it easy, and punched it in there about a 100-yard shot, and you know, when I hit it, you know, everything was a blur for a minute, and when I finally focused in on the ball going towards the hole, and Dana was watching, and it hit up there by the green, and I was saying kind of low, I was wanting it to go in. Yeah. And when it hit up there, when we could tell that it was should have been pretty close, and she said, "Did it go in? Did it go in?" And I was breathless at the time, and I was just couldn't even hardly get it out. I said, "I don't know," you know, and I was just.
Steve Pope has a high regard for a couple of guys on the PGA Tour, guys he hopes he can emulate when his time comes.
I like sort of Fred Couples' demeanor, and, you know, I like the way he's really relaxed, or Fuzzy Zeller, you know, and they don't let things get to him too bad. And then I also have to look at the Jack Nicklaus's and the people who are really grinders, and, you know, they really worked for everything they got. And, you know, I want to be the guy who worked hard for it, but doesn't take it too serious.
When we return, Eric Johnson continues his good week at Charleston National as we'll take a look at the third round of action at the John Crosland CTX Golf Classic.
Hi, I'm Kathy. We'll be right back with more golf from the Hooters Tour.
So I said to Henny, of course chickens are more important to Hooters than owls.
Who?
Chickens, that's who.
I beg to differ.
Well, peg all you want. Without chickens, there'd be no chicken sandwiches or chicken salad. Or Hooters' famous chicken wings. There'd be no Hooters if it weren't for chicken.
It's really not wise to even argue the point.
That's because I'm right.
No, that's because you're not going to be around long anyway. Chicken.
Naturally fresh, simply delicious. Just wait and see. Just wait and see. You'll taste the quality. The quality. Preservative free. We all
Are you still drinking the old thing? Try the next thing, Powerade. With 33% more carbos than Gatorade and a taste you can really slam. Powerade, the next thing.
Now, before we go back to golf, here's a camera's eye view of not only a very strong test of the game of golf, but also a very pretty piece of land that has been developed into a great course.
Charleston National Country Club is situated on a prime piece of land just off Highway 17 North in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. It's 18 holes of beauty carved with care by the master designer, Reese Jones. This nearly 7,000-yard layout is a supreme test for the professionals of the Hooters Tour. There's also markers to play from 6,500 yards and 6,000 yards for the men, and 5,500 and 5,100 yards for the ladies and seniors. Comments from all sorts of players validate the difficulty and fairness of Charleston National. Now, the owners of Charleston National are committed to make something nearly perfect even better. If you just like watching Mother Nature and what she has created, modern man has tried to preserve it here, then Charleston National is also a place to see. It's a beautiful place, and this is the second year for the Hooters Tour to play this perfect test of all abilities.
Now, heading to the third round of action in what's been absolutely splendid weather, EJ's going to have his first bogey in 2 days on his way to playing an air-free day of golf and in the process establish a new course record.
15 players stood within 5 shots of the leader, Eric Johnson, heading into Saturday's third round. 4 of these players will fire scores in the 60s, with 3 others shooting subpar rounds. On the 553-yard par 5 first hole, 5 of our top 15 walked away with birdies. Steve Flesh, who won in Louisville, Kentucky, birdies number 1 here. He would also birdie the par 5 14th hole. His 2-under par 70 puts him in a tie for 7th at -7 going into Sunday's play. Rob McKelvey followed rounds of 67-72 with a 3-under par 69. This birdie at number 1 gets him on his way. Another Hooters pro that has been playing well as of late is Stephen Larrick. This birdie at the 517-yard par 5 hole moves him to -6 for the tournament, 1 under for the day. He'll finish at even par for the day and 10 shots back of the lead. Paul Claxton, our defending champion, started the day 1 back. A birdie at the par 5 third hole moves him to 8 under. He'll post a 3-under par 69, but will enter the final round 5 shots back. Ray Franz, who was playing in front of the home folks this week, put himself in position to be watched. After rounds of 71-67, the Mount Pleasant native fired a 4-under par 68 to be tied for second heading into Sunday. One of his birdies came on the par 5 14th hole. He is 5 back of our leader, Eric Johnson. Johnson birdied the first hole as well as the par 5 third hole. He would birdie the par 5 14th hole and again at the par 4 15th hole. Only 1 bogey, which was a result of a 3-putt on the second hole, as he puts 5 shots between he and the field.
It's nice to have a 5-shot lead and nice to have it and feel like you're swinging well. You know, the scores are going the right direction, and each score each day has been lower. So I think we're building confidence as it goes along.
So after 54 holes of play at the John Crosland CTX Golf Classic, Eric Johnson is in the number 1 position with a 5-stroke lead over Ray Franz and Paul Claxton. Scott Gardner, who posted the second low round of the day, 66, moves into the 4th position at -9. 2 players are at 208 or -8. They are Rob McKelvey and Kelly Korleski. Some more scores include Steve Flesh and Michael Foster at -7. At -6, you have Michael Christie and Dickie Thompson. 10 back of our leader, you have Andrew Morse, Ron Winchie, Mike Schwartz, and Stephen Larrick.
So Eric Johnson, heading to the 4th and final round, finds himself in a familiar spot leading a golf tournament.
With a 5-stroke lead on the field, on one of the hardest golf courses the Hooters Tour had faced this year, Eric Johnson was looking to win his first tournament of the year. He was paired on this final day with a local favorite, Hooters Tour member Ray Franz. After a birdie at the first hole to go to 16 under par, Johnson would bogey 3 of the next 7 holes. The margin had been cut to 3, as Paul Claxton, last year's champion, had been pressing and making putts. Johnson would find his range, though. After the turn, Eric would birdie the par 4 10th hole to get back to 15 under par, even for the day. Another birdie at the par 4 12th hole moves him to 16 under par. He would make yet another birdie at the par 4 13th hole. His ball striking was accurate and his putting precise. At 17 under par through 13 holes, Eric Johnson had opened up a 7-stroke lead on the field. Eric would play impressively coming in as he birdies 17, one of the most talked about holes on the Charleston National Golf Course this week. And he would finish in style, birdieing the par 5 18th hole to seal the victory with a 7-stroke margin at 19 under par.
I shot 18 under earlier this year, finished 3rd. I shot 17 under earlier this year, finished 4th. I don't think I've ever shot 19 under on a golf course on the Hooters TC Jordan Tour before, so that was important to me. Hitting a good putt was important to me. It falls back to being hard on myself. Someday I might be in a position where that putt really does matter. So, I'm going to give it the same kind of effort that I would over a 7-shot lead.
Your final leaderboard has the $15,000 first place check going to Eric Johnson of Eugene, Oregon. Our defending champion comes in second. That's Paul Claxton, with 3 players tied at 279. Jason Biddick, Dickie Thompson, and Scott Gardner. 4 players finished at 280 or -8. They are Stephen Larrick, Andrew Morse, Rob McKelvey, and Ray Franz. Still ahead at the John Crossland CTX Classic, we'll get you up to date on some numbers that gain more importance as the season rolls along. The $100,000 Naturally Fresh bonus race, and 10 guys who have taken the most money to the bank this year.
And that, Kim, incidentally, is $1.6 million that we have awarded so far. Now, we're going to have some more help for your game with our players tip, and we'll check with one of our rules officials to give you an insight there.
So I said to Henny, of course chickens are more important to Hooters than owls.
Who?
Chickens, that's who.
I beg to differ.
Well, peg all you want. Without chickens, there'd be no chicken sandwiches or chicken salad. Or Hooters' famous chicken wings. There'd be no Hooters if it weren't for chicken.
It's really not wise to even argue the point.
That's because I'm right.
No, that's because you're not going to be around long anyway. Chicken.
How many times has this happened to you? It's after work, you're hungry, you want to have some fun, but you don't want to spend a lot of money. Impossible? Not at Hooters. That's right, Hooters. And here's how. How much would you expect to pay for a nearly world-famous chicken wing? $5, $1, 50 cents? No, just 10 cents. Still not convinced? Watch this amazing demonstration. Come into any Hooters restaurant and take advantage of this incredible offer. Order now. Waitresses are standing by. Some restrictions apply. See individual stores for details.
Who's getting happy? Who's having fun? Who's been to Hooters? Come on, everyone, it's at Hooters. Hooters. Hooters makes you happy. Hooters makes you happy. Hooters makes you happy. Hooters makes you happy. Good times, great food, fun music, what a hoot. Hooters. Hooters. Everybody's getting happy at Hooters.
He's excited every time he gets to work on the tournament.
It's been a real exciting experience. We look forward to it. This is our 2nd year, obviously, and we plan months ahead, and we try and do the best job we can. The best thing we did this year, though, I think, is the golf course. Wayne Sellers and his crew. It's just been a beautiful golf course this week and beautiful weather, so we've been very fortunate.
Landy, you might want to stick around. Maybe we'll help your game, and maybe we'll help your game. Here's a player's tip.
Hi, I'm Joe McCormick of the Hooters Tour. Today I'd like to talk to you about tempo with the driver. I've played in many Pro-Ams and I've seen many amateurs who try to swing it like John Daly, and we all don't have John's ability. So what we need to think is think tempo, swing it smooth, and you'll hit it much straighter. Remember tempo and have fun with your game, and we'll see you at Hooters.
And as rules official Jeff Harlow's fond of saying, it always helps to know about the rules, because that's money, baby.
Hello, I'm Jeff Harlow, rules official with the Hooters Golf Tour. How many times have you been on a par 3 and you've seen one player look into another player's bag to see which club he just used? Is this a penalty? Well, according to the rules of golf, it is permissible for a player to obtain information through observation, as long as it is not done through a physical act. For example, if a towel should be covering the clubs, the towel may not be removed to see which club was used. So remember, you can look, but don't touch. See you at Hooters.
And as we mentioned just a short time ago, we've awarded just over $1.6 million so far. Let's take a look at who's banked the biggest chunk of that.
Our top 10 leaders on the Hooters official money list has Dickie Thompson still holding the #1 position with over $53,000. Ricky Smallridge is still in second with just over $46,000. Eric Johnson moves into third with this week's winning check as Jimmy Green and Andrew Morse fill in the top 5. Rounding out the top 10, you have Paul Claxton, Brian Gorman, Mike Schwartz, Chris Smith, and David McCampbell.
So far this season, Dickie Thompson and Andrew Morse have held our points race top positions for the most part. After Charleston, let's check out our top 10.
In our race for the Naturally Fresh $100,000 bonus, Andrew Morse is still our leader after 3 straight weeks. He has a slim lead over Dickie Thompson, with Ricky Smallridge, Eric Johnson, and Paul Claxton still in the hunt. The others in the top 10 include Mike Schwartz, Stephen Larrick, Brian Gorman, Jack O'Keefe, and Jimmy Green. Charleston National Golf Course is one of the top venues on our schedule. This year, with its new clubhouse and excellent golf course preparation, it remains a shining star.
Yeah, from the minute you come in the gate up there, you just know you're seeing class. So with all of that in mind, a special thanks to our co-chair people, Landy Blank and Rankin Harding. Also to the owners here, Mr. Fox and Mr. Buzz Nave. They've been great supporters of this event. As a matter of fact, Kim, I want to thank the entire staff.
Next week, we'll go just up the road a couple of hours to the golf capital of the world, Myrtle Beach. We'll play one of the grand old original courses on the Grand Strand, the Surf Club developed by the Tillman family.
Yeah, so if you can't be there, we'll hope you'll join us right back here next week on This Week on the Hooters Tour. See you later.
This Week on the Hooters Tour is brought to you by Hooters Restaurants. Hooters, delightfully tacky yet unrefined. Naturally fresh foods, naturally fresh preservative-free salad dressings, sauces, and dips. And by Bud Light. Make it a Bud Light. If you like the clothes that Kim and Lee are wearing, call the Hooters Merchandise Catalog at 1-800-961-2231 for all Hooters of America apparel.